what scene was your favorite?
I knew you were going to ask me this. And I was like, I really need to like go back because there was this one moment in the book. Yeah, I'll go find it and I'll message you. There was
Okay.
this one moment in the book because after this moment, there were many moments, but there was one moment in the book where my whole body, I mean, my whole body came alive with goosebumps. It was so visceral and so beautiful. And I remember like thinking, anchor this moment. I've got to tell Britt about this moment.
Oh,
But I couldn't, I was so like focused on what I was feeling that I forget what part of the book it
that's
was.
okay.
But I will find
That's
it and
amazing. I'm
send
glad you felt that.
yeah, but that's like, I don't know, that to me is a testament of whatever I was reading because I was so like, but yeah,
So
I
good.
just loved the whole book. Like I literally struggled to put it down, you know, like
Oh, it's the best to
yeah,
hear.
it followed me everywhere, which is rare. Like I don't carry books with me often, and I just like take it to the gym with my partner just in case he finished before I finish first, and then I can go read. Like I'm preempting like ways to get back into the book. So yeah,
Yes.
I think I got it Wednesday, and I finished Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I finished Sunday morning, so um, it did not
I love
take
it.
very long, but
I love
um,
that.
You are listening to the Circle of Life podcast, where conversations on life, healing, and the human experience walk us home over and over again. I am your host, Ellen, and this is a home for the healing, a place for curious minds, big hearts, and a different kind of conversation. The Circle of Life podcast serves to invoke the deepest parts of you and remind you that you are your greatest resource. If you, like me, value depth, raw conversations, and a good old-fashioned dose of heart-to-heart medicine, this space is especially akin to you. Together, we'll remember the capacity of our human spirit and what it means to be healing, whole, and a part of this extraordinary circle of life. I hope you find as much medicine and resonance in the words and stories shared as I do in bringing them to you. It's truly such an honor to have you here. G'day and welcome.
it's like the
Yeah. There can
I
be
look.
things that you want to keep. Oh, look at it. There it is. She's so pretty.
Britt, I read this in like 3 days.
Did you? Oh my God, you're
Yeah.
finished.
Yeah, I'm finished. I like it almost looks worn to me because of how like just how obsessed I was
I
with
love
it.
it.
And I'm
Thank
just, yeah,
you.
I've got like my whole body's vibrating. Just, it just feels so, I love fantasy. Like,
I didn't
I,
know this about you. See,
yeah.
so many people have come out of the woodwork. They're like, I'm a closet fantasy lover. And I'm like, I had no idea we could have been talking about it this whole time.
Yeah, totally. And you know what's super beautiful for me anyway, and my experience with this is like, I haven't picked up a fantasy book in so long because
Mm.
like, I don't think a lot of people know this about me, but I don't trust myself. Like I just become so enthralled.
Yeah, no, they take over your entire personality and they
Yes,
become
yes,
the only thing you can think of. Yeah.
yeah, totally. I feel so vulnerable when I pick up a fantasy book. I'm like, what's going to happen? Like, who am I going to become on the other side of
Yeah.
this? Like,
Yeah.
and I
It's
was
an
completely,
initiation.
yeah, yeah. And I was completely ruined by your book.
You're welcome.
I was like sitting there on my back deck, like in the sun, because like that's mostly where was reading it. And I was like, what now? Like, what now? Like, I was wriggling
How does one go on?
beside myself. And I was so grateful for you in this moment when I got to the very end and saw that there was like a little snippet of the next book. I was like,
Yes.
oh my God.
Because I believe in emotional ruin, but I also believe in not making everyone hate me. So I thought
Appreciate
I'm
that.
going to add a little tiny little bit on the end just so that,
Yeah.
yeah, people can have their panic
Yeah. It's
quelled.
super appreciated just from my side of the street. Thank you so much for
You are
that.
welcome.
But oh my God, Brie, you've written a beautiful book. Like I
Thank you.
cannot believe it. There were moments when I was literally reading and my whole body came alive with goosebumps, like the anticipation that you've written into that, like the way you've built this world. I could feel that this is something that didn't just come to your mind. This is something you've been harboring and within yourself probably for a really, really, really long time. And you've just done such an amazing job of bringing it to the world and building this world. And you can feel the build up. It really is an emotional roller coaster.
Thank you. Yes. I mean, it did. It was with me for a long time. Not the exact story, but elements that I love that I wanted to see represented in a story that I don't feel are always represented. And it's the emotional depth / roller coaster. And it's the little intricate details and it's the little callbacks from chapter 80 back to chapter 1. And it's all of the little tiny foreshadows, the clever little intricacies and the ways that it's all tied together. I wanted to see that. So I think the skills required to write this book have been building for a long time. I think that's what's been building. The story itself, I had elements of that I have lived with in my chest for 15 years.
Wow.
You know, like that has lived with me for a long time. But yeah, other things, I went and some of the elements, and I shared this at my launch event, actually, some of the elements in the book, I actually didn't add until 3rd or 4th round revisions. So there are bits in there that people love. I'm like, well, lucky I included that because that only kind of just snuck in. Yeah, it's been a process.
Yeah, a process that I'm really keen to like get behind the scenes of and like really feel into with you as well, because I know what you've left behind to build this, create this. Like I was in that world with you in snippets, and
Yeah.
it was a beautiful world that you built there too. But to see you, just like come alive with this idea and this knowing, and this is a big part of what I want to get into, because I am so deeply guided by that same knowing myself in my life. And I just think when we tap into that and we trust it and we practice being guided by that and allowing, that's not an easy process for me, to allow things to die and to fall away and to just burn away, especially when it's, I've got many examples in my life where I've done that, and I always cling on for dear life until I'm absolutely ready. And then like to do that process, and then to trust in this idea, this thing that's alive, even if it makes no friggin' sense, like it just, that to me is, in my opinion, just a life really, really well lived. Like to me, that's living. That's what it means to be fully alive, fully enthralled in your own life. So
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I always think to that, whatever that book is, the Lessons from the Dying. And I can't remember what that book is actually called. I promise I know books.
I know which.
Yeah. And one of the top regrets of the dying is that they didn't live a life that was true to them. I just refuse to be that statistic. I refuse to be that person who is on her deathbed, who's like, wow, I really lived a life that everyone else was really happy with. Turns out I'm unfulfilled and I didn't play all my cards and I held them all close to my chest. And I just refuse to be that person. And I know to others that looks a bit rogue on the outside sometimes, but it doesn't feel rogue on the inside. And I know from the outside looking in, people like, wow, that's a really left field move. You really did a weird thing there. You left this thing behind and you've done this other thing. But actually on the inside, it feels so right. And it feels so grounded and it feels so calm. And it just feels so, of course.
Yeah. And that I think is, I mean, I won't speak for you, but I imagine that exact experience is what you've been anchoring into over and over and over again as part of this process of bringing this to life, especially because we all, like those of us who choose to live a life like that, are generally going to come rubbing up against those on the external that think that that's pretty far out, but there's that thrum that just hums on the inside. And I know for me, I anchor into that and I'm choosing that and channeling that at every touch point.
Yes. And if I wasn't called to it, you know what I mean? If I wasn't called to it, this is not where I would be going, but I was called, and I was called for a reason. And I just think that that's the whole point, right? I wouldn't feel this if I wasn't meant to. I wouldn't feel as excited, as passionate, as interested, as devoted, as committed, as disciplined, as obsessed as I do if I wasn't meant to be doing what I'm doing. And I look at my background, and yeah, for your listeners who don't know, I worked in a similar field to you. I worked in business coaching that are kind of somewhat adjacent for a decade. And I had built a really beautiful income, and I was the main provider for my family. And I've got 3 little girls, and my husband had a job that allowed him to be home a lot more so that I was working. Anyway, all of that. And I did that for a decade. I'd built a really comfortable existence there where in my head, I was like, well, I have freedom and I run my own business and I don't really have to worry about clients. And it's like, everything's great. Like, why still do I not feel how I want to feel, how I thought I would feel when I arrived at this point? Like, I'm no longer in this, I'm building my business and I'm hungry and I'm climbing and I'm scaling. I was in this really beautiful, comfortable place. And still, I didn't feel alive. I didn't feel electric. I didn't feel charged. I didn't feel how I wanted to feel when I was like living my dream. You know, I'm air quoting there, but I didn't feel that. And I didn't feel that for the last 3 years that I had that business. And I kept, I'm sure you've probably related to this at some point in your life, and everyone will in some way, but I kept trying to rebrand myself and my life and my business so that it could feel exciting again, so that I could get that hit of aliveness that I so desperately craved. I kept, please wait, darling. Okay, I'm talking. I kept trying to hit the mark of the craving that I had. And so I would reorient myself a little bit. I'd go do another little training and I'd go learn a little bit more, and I'd reinvent something that I wanted to offer, and it would feel really, really exciting. And I'd feel so good doing it. And then it would just instantly disappear. And I would have this quick up, but I'd have a really, really big dip again. And then I'd go back into flatlining, and then I'd rebrand again. And it was this constant trying to get that feeling that I so desperately craved. And it wasn't until I really admitted the truth, like really, really admitted the truth, which was, I don't even want to do this. And that was like a breakdown moment of, I'm good at it. I'm serving people. I like my clients. I don't even hate what I'm doing. I actually kind of like it still. I just know it's not it. I don't want to do this in 5 years. I don't want to do this in 10 years. And because of that, I know that I don't want to do it in 5 minutes, because I know there's no long game here. This is not serving my ultimate purpose. By continuing to pour into this, I'm watering a garden that I never want to see bloom. And I think energetically, there's something there then that stops you truly having success in that way, whether that is internal success or that external validation of your success. And it wasn't until that moment where I was like, I don't even want this. That truth fully came through, where it was, that's because you've wanted to do this forever. And why are you delaying this dream of writing these fantasy books for later, for one day? Like, when is one day? Well, I guess it's just when you choose it, right? So yeah, there was definitely a breakdown moment, and that breakdown moment has been followed by a lot of breakdown moments thereafter, because then obviously once you know the truth, you can't unsee it.
Truth is like that.
I'm such a jerk.
But it takes, in my experience, it takes so much courage to be willing to face yourself in that way. Like, because truth is one of those things that I find it for me, it's not always just there. It's not always just like, here. Like, it's almost like it takes you through the fucking ringer sometimes
Yeah.
to get you to see it. So and each time you sort of like go through, you rebrand your business, you do the new thing. It's like, it's almost like bubbling, 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 bubbling. And then it's like, now you can see it. And it's never just like right there for me. It's almost always something. Yeah.
It's not like you're denying it. It's not like you know the truth and you're ignoring the truth. It's that the truth actually isn't clear yet.
Yeah.
And I think that I really had to go through that process of the rebranding and the reinventing and the trying and the experimentation in my previous business to really leave no stone unturned, to really get to the point where I had brought that chapter of my life so wholly to completion that there were no doubts left that it wasn't for me. So that when the truth was revealed, I was like, clearly I can't go back now.
Yeah.
It was so clear as soon as I knew, because I'd given it a decade of my life. I had loved it. I had wrung every bit of joy and magic out of it. I had brought it all the way to completion. I had really fully experienced everything I could experience there. And there's been no part of me that's like, oh, I really miss that. Or like, oh, I really wish I could go back. I just don't.
Yeah.
That hasn't, people are like, is it so hard to just let go? I'm like, no, letting go was really easy, actually. It's fully choosing the next thing and all that comes with the newness.
Yeah.
And all of the people that it affects and my family dynamic and my income and our entire life has been upended because I made this decision literally in a 1 hour period of time where I was like, well, here's the truth. I'm going to close my business today. The end.
Truth moves like that. It's like so hard to see when once it drops, it's like the line in the sand is drawn and it's like there's no going back. There's no like it's just done. Like you feel that completion so much in your body. And I felt the same way when I closed my gym. Like I felt like I'd run every single part of that experience out. Like I'd done it for 10 years as well. And from the outside, it just seemed so insane to people, you know, like they would message me and be like, you've been such a huge part of the industry. Like it's crazy.
What do you mean?
Yeah. What do you mean you're going? Like, it's like, you're so good at it. And I'm like, I'm telling you, like, I know what I feel. Like, I didn't even try and justify it because it was just so clear. It was more just like, thank you for your words. And like, I totally understand that this is hard for you.
Yeah. I think it's harder for others than it is for you because, and you know, when you shift, whether that is an identity thing or it's a career thing, I think it fractures people's fragile perception of you. And it's really disorientating for others. Less so for you, because I think it feels so right within. But for others, they're like, what? Because they haven't been privy to that internal process. They haven't been privy to, for me, it was the 3 years leading up to it where I knew that something had changed within me. No one else had changed. It was me. It was fully, I'm the problem. But it was that 3-year build that gave me the time to adjust to that new version of myself. Whereas for other people, it feels like it happens in an instant.
I totally understand. But yeah, they're not part of that experience inside. And, you know, that's something that you've clearly been, you know, just, it's been with you, you know, for some time. And you've been having your own process and, you know, mentally, physically, emotionally, and like feeling into all the different things. And you're like, 3 years is a long time, you know.
It's a long time.
To get on board with yourself. Right?
To get on board with yourself. It's a long time to adjust to yourself that is trying to, and little elements of myself being like little tiny parts of myself being birthed in those moments until I got to that kind of crescendo moment of, I've missed this whole time. This is where I've been going with this.
I love this so much. I can just feel humanity sometimes, like just the women in my fields, and sometimes I'll just look out or just feel out into the collective, and I just think there's so many ideas and dreams that live within people, that just live within us, and it seems like almost crazy or stupid to pursue them, you know, to follow them, to
Yeah.
actually listen. And I think sometimes just watching other people do that will sometimes, you know, I'm sure it does more than two things, but in my experience, it does one of two things to me. It'll either like really rile me up and I'm like something is being activated in me, or I'm like overly inspired and just like in complete awe. You know, like I think there's something in that, like being able to, I think, watch and witness someone else do something that inside you know you're capable of, or something that you know you want to do yourself, and then witnessing them go through that whole process. Like there's something, so for me, something so magical and medicinal about that.
Yeah.
And I've watched you do this and I have just been like completely like in awe of your
Thank
journey,
you.
like just the support that you've conjured, the community that you've built around you. Like it is really special. Like I don't
Thank
see
you.
it very often, but I'm not privy to a lot of people's worlds. Like I'm very discerning about who I engage with, but something about the what you've done, what you've created is so beautiful to me.
Thank
So
you.
beautiful to me. Like this, especially the community
Yeah.
aspect. Like I feel like that has, I know, yeah, like I know that's in part probably been there a little while in other ways, but there is something different about the way your community has shown up. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. And I genuinely think that's because I'm in the right place.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. I
I
think
like
it's,
that.
yeah, like I really think it's very, very difficult to rally a community of people for a cause that isn't on path for you. Even if in that moment that was the right call, even if, you know, I don't look back on my business and think, wow, I was so out of alignment. There are so many seasons of that where I'm like, that was so on purpose.
Yeah.
That whole season was beautiful and it built me skills that I've been able to take into this season of my life, where I can leverage a lot of those skills, whether that is marketing or community building or, you know, whatever it is. If I had started as an author, I wouldn't have those skills.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm forever grateful for the season. I don't regret it, resent it in any way, shape, or form. But I do believe I worked 20 times harder in my previous business to build community than I do now. I feel like I don't do anything now, and the community has rallied. They are beautiful. Like I can't even describe. I write words now for a living, but I cannot find enough to describe the level of support that I have felt from, mostly from the book community, but definitely from select people that have followed me over from my old business.
Yeah.
I think because I don't know, there's several elements there. I think the personal development and coaching industry is largely built on what you can give to others. And so when you stop giving, the support stops.
Yeah.
And so when you are no longer, you know, giving free Instagram advice every day and you're not opening your DMs all the time and all of that, the support stops because they're there to leverage the offering, not support the human. And so there's a very different energy there.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, well, it's in the arts, right? It's a creative space. And so there is a different energy there. And don't get me wrong, there are some really fucked up corners of the internet in the art world and the book world too. I haven't found them though. I am not there, which is amazing. For whatever reason, whether that is just I am in a place of alignment, I have really found the thing that I really, really feel like I was put on the earth to do. And the right people have just found me.
Yeah.
They have just found me. And they have built friendships.
Yeah.
And then they have invited their friends. And it's this beautiful connected community of just support and hype and laughs and enjoyment and genuinely supporting each other. And it's been phenomenal to see because I never felt anything like that in my previous business. Did I meet amazing people? Of course. Did I build beautiful friendships? Yes. I had amazing, amazing business connections, but it never felt like that in the community sense. They were more individual relationships that I fostered.
Mm.
This has been extraordinary.
Yeah, I can feel it. Like it's palpable truly through the screen, and like just hearing you speak about it all, like the word that just like pops in is like it's easeful. Like there is
Easeful.
there is an ease to it, and it's organic, and it just feels really delicious.
It's so delicious. And I think, I have, worked hard. There have been elements. I mean, writing a book is hard. It's a hard thing. However, and I market every day. I am very consistent. I am very devoted to it. And I don't do a lot after that. I do my piece of marketing on social media and then I tap out and things happen in the ether after that. Like I'm consistent and I'm devoted and I show up for the parts that I can control. And then beyond that, there is just this wonderful magnetism that has happened as a result of, I think, genuinely just being in the right place.
Yeah.
And doing the right thing and having the courage to take a leap. And, from strategic business coach to fantasy writer, it's a bit rogue. And probably more in my immediate life, people who know me were like, what? And I kind of thought this was a joke, and me having to like navigate all of that and kind of rebuild people's expectations of me and understanding of who I am. And that's a separate thing. But yeah, that community support has been extraordinary.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, just because from where I sit, you going rogue feels really on brand.
I know. I agree.
Like, this wasn't shocking to me. I was like, fair enough. Like,
fair.
Yeah, like this is, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that's good. And like obviously being part of your world, and prior to the fantasy, writing and things like that, I was more than anything just really excited about what you were gonna build and create, and I just couldn't wait to sort of be in that with you. And like when I was reading your book, I was like, there's something really, I don't know how to describe it because it's the first time this has ever happened, but I was reading your book and it felt so, it just felt really connected and familiar because I know you.
Yeah.
Because I know you. Like, I don't know you like on a deep level, but like I know you, like we chat, we're. And so there was something, I felt like for me that added something to it. I don't even know specifically what. It just felt like I was connected to something so much more than the story and the characters. It was like I could feel you in it. And there were little moments in the book where things would happen and like comments made and like, and I'm like, oh, it feels, it feels like you. I was like, whoa, she's like the main character in this book. It was just so beautiful. Like truly, I was like, it was a different kind of experience,
It is interesting, I think, when you know the author of a book that you're reading, because it feels very meta. It feels very like you're experiencing the story and you're in the world, but you're also observing the writing and you're feeling the work and the skill and the art beyond the world that's being created. And I do think that adds an extra layer of something, whether it's depth or whether it's like, oh my God, that joke that Ronan made is so Brit, or, or whatever it is, or
there's a resonance. I get it.
There's a resonance. Yeah. And I do think people who have known me in business see how writing fantasy books is not that different from building businesses. And they can see the through line there as well, which is so funny because I used to teach a method called the world of my business. And it was about how to build a world for people to step into versus a two-dimensional business for people to transact with. And I wanted to help people bring their businesses alive so that they could step into it and have this transportive experience for people to drop in immersively, because that's what's going to build retention and sustainability and longevity. And then I go and apply those exact same things to a world where it's all about sensory activation, emotional buy-in, and investment in storyline, which is the exact same skill required for a business. They're just different canvases. Yeah. So I think that people who know me have read that and they're like, oh, this is very Brit.
Yeah. 100%. Like even just watching the journey unfold, like I'm like piece by piece, and it feels so on brand for you. Like I'm just like, this is very much you.
Yeah. I've never felt this before. I've never felt like, oh no, this is the forever thing. Like, this is what I want to do. Will the way it looks change? Probably. I'll probably want to be experimental and try a different genre or do something different, maybe.
Yeah.
But I can see that this is something that just, I don't know. It's just for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I get that feeling. Like it's just a knowing, and it's not something that, you know, you can always put words on. It's just like this very deep felt experience. And yeah, it's so, so special. And yeah, I feel like, yeah, again, this is a big part of, you know, why I was so excited for our chat, because yeah, I just feel like to get to that place of truth is, it's, you know, it is such a gift, you know, like when you look around your life and your world right now and you get to feel this resonance and this beauty and this community and this ease, you know, this organic ease, and it's just such a gift, you know. And I just want to really highlight that for anyone listening. You know, that's a big part of, I suppose, I don't know if you'd call it a trade-off, but like when you're willing to get to that place of truth and really listen and do the work to really honor that in the best way that you can with the resources that you have, you get to experience this is it. This is what you get to feel. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that is the cost of entry, and there is no guarantee. But I think that's part of it too, is that I could have closed down my business and this could all have been for nothing. And I could have written one book and gone, you know what? That wasn't really it. Shit. That could have happened. That could have happened. You know, we are looking to downsize our house. My husband had to quit his job and get a new one. We have had to like kind of batten down the hatches in terms of finances, because I went from earning multi six figures to $0 overnight. It has been huge, but that is the point.
Yeah.
Like, your new life is going to cost you your old one. That's the point. You have to be willing to give up something. There is going to be a cost. And part of the trade-off of choosing the thing that's for you is it's taking the risk. It's not knowing the guarantees. It's having no idea how it's going to work out. It's all of the ways that your life is going to have to change to accommodate a new existence, because you are new when you do it. I just think so few people are willing to do that. And honestly, if I had have known what it was going to feel like, I don't know if I would have said yes. Naivety and obliviousness is honestly truly a gift sometimes, because you kind of need to go in blind.
Yeah.
It's like having kids. Go in blind. Don't ask anyone. Just literally have a crack, because it is, you never know the hardships that are going to come. Like I've literally cried every day for the last 6 months. It's been hard. It has been the highest highs of my life. It's seeing my book hit number 8 on the bestseller lists on Amazon. It's like selling foreign rights to my book and having it translated into another language, like that, these amazing things. And it's not knowing how I'm paying for my groceries that week. And it's asking my husband to get a different job. It's pulling my child out of daycare and bringing her home with me full time and doing interviews with her around. It's doing all of these things. It's the highest of highs and it's the lowest of lows. And every time I am overcome with just emotion and discomfort and like, what the fuck have I done? I remember that this is why so few people do this. Not this, but that act of listening to the truth once you know it.
Yeah.
This is why so many people do lie on their deathbeds and say, I wish I had have lived a life more true to me, and not the life that was comfortable, or not the life that other people wanted. You
Mm.
know, I hold both of those knowings of this is so right, and oh my God, this hurts so much. And is this going to work out for me? And I feel so on path. And what am I doing? And I'm so happy I'm doing this. And it's all of that at one time.
Yeah.
And that just dichotomy is chaos.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. So yes.
Yes.
Like I fully understand it, right? Like,
yeah.
you know, every time I plan, you know, for me in my business, you know, a new retreat or a new experience, it initiates me, right? Like I'm now stepping into a new way of doing something for myself, exploring my work at greater depths, and I start, you know, bringing in new people with like that just are on a whole new level, and like that really, like there's just so much that moves within a person, you know, there's so much of our own inner world that's just like, you know, that we're just working with at any given time as part of the process. So, you know,
Yep.
I know for me that's a big part of why I'm so passionate about working with the body and going deeper into the realms of the body, because for me, it's been instrumental in being able to navigate the unknown. And it's been instrumental for me in being able to walk into, you know, the blind abyss chaos, like just with no idea what, you know, no guaranteed outcome, no way of knowing, you know, is it going to work? Is it going to, whatever. But being able to, you know, just navigate that in a deep way with my body has been instrumental in how I've been able to show up and keep showing up and build. And I know this is something I've heard you speak about before, is like trusting yourself to follow through.
Yes.
Yeah, like trusting yourself to show up at the desk and write the words and write the book. Like, do you want to speak into that? Because I think that's, you know, that's something that's really something.
Yeah, no, it is. And I think it's huge, because I do believe that when people start doing something difficult and the thing that they're doing starts to feel bigger than their capability, bigger than their capacity, bigger than their bandwidth, and people go, I just can't do it. That's when we crumble, right? We crumble under the weight of the vision that we hold. My thing is always, can I trust myself day to day to be devoted enough to whatever it is that I'm trying to do? In my case, writing a book. For your case, it might be meeting the body, whatever the thing is that someone is doing. Do I trust myself to show up every day and just write the fucking book? And when I don't know what to do I trust myself to have the skills to be able to pragmatically figure it out and just keep moving forward? I do not have to look beyond one day. Do I trust myself day to day? And it's that, can I break it down into a micro moment of trusting myself daily? Not do I trust myself on a good day?
Yeah.
Not do I trust myself when I feel like, but do I trust myself every single day to do this? So literally for every single day, no breaks for 4 months, whether my kids were around, whether it was after they'd gone to sleep, whether it was on Christmas Day, whether it like didn't matter what it was, I just had to sit down and I had to write words. I had no limits. I had no minimums. It was just write some words, touch the story every day. And it's like, touch the vision every day, touch the craft every day, touch the thing every day. It doesn't matter if you're not writing every day, but are you editing? Are you rereading? Are you planning your next scene? Are you researching? Are you figuring out that plot hole? Are you just doing something that touches the vision or touches the story? And that was my commitment to myself. And what I showed myself with everything I've done, but especially with the book, was that I could do that. And I could write a book that most people would write over a year or 2 years. And I could do it in 4 months because I was touching the story every day. And I've done the same with book 2. I'm like maybe 5% off finishing. And I've touched the story every day for 3 months. I've upped my capacity and I've got less time. Right? So I have no work hours available, but I've written my story in less time every day for the last 3 months, and it's nearly complete. And it's that, like, I trust myself every day. I trust myself to figure out problems, because as you will know, because you've read the book, there are a lot of little threads. Like there are a lot of threads. So I am holding 500 threads in my head at one time, and I'm trying to weave them into a 3-story arc. What am I exactly doing in book 2? Where am I going for book 3? What is the main plot point? What is the storyline? What is the standalone story of book 2? How does it tie into book 1 and 3? Like all of the things are floating around in there all of the time. That gets really overwhelming at about the halfway point when everything is still unfinished. And that's when it feels like everything gets too big.
Yeah.
That's when I think, fuck, I don't have the skills for this. That's when the doubt creeps in. That's when the imposter syndrome creeps in. That's when the like craft comparison creeps in, all of that. And I think I could go and spend time there. I really could. I could go and I could spiral hard. Yeah. I could do it. Give me a chance and I can go there.
Yeah.
Or I can know that that's actually not going to take me anywhere good. And I can touch the story every day, write the fucking book, sit at the laptop, get to the thing. Just touch the story every day because I don't have to know anything beyond today. It's just today. And I think that approach to everything, whether that is going to the gym, whether that is dropping into a spiritual practice, whether that is parenting, whether that is writing my book, anything at all, it is really only today. And just that mentality has been the thing that has gotten me through everything. Because I have a propensity to future panic. Like I do. I can very easily drift into anxiety and worry a lot about how it's going to work out and when it's going to pay off and how I'm going to figure that thing out. And oh my God, like if I write a scene today, what if I create another problem for myself in 2 days? And I've got another plot hole that I've got to do. That's fine. I trust myself to handle that then. It's just like it's trusting the past versions of myself. It's trusting the future versions of myself. And the only way that you can build those two things is by trusting yourself today.
Yeah.
You know, like the everyday trust is the thing that actually builds a trustworthy past you and a trustworthy present, future you. So that has been the mentality that has literally gotten me through everything. Because otherwise I would be on the floor in the fetal position, panicking a lot.
Oh, I felt that when I was reading your book, just the 500 different threads. Like, and I literally was picturing you like not specifically like what your process would be like or like how it would look behind the scenes, but I was literally like thinking of you like how is she holding, like, because I would feel like I'd get to a certain point in the book and you'd bring through a thread from it prior and I'm like, fuck, this is clever, like it's so good. And then like the same thing would happen like in a couple chapters and I'm like, this is amazing. But my God, like the capacity, like the brain capacity, the capacity to actually just hold this whole thing. I was like, wow, like I think that's part of what made it so rich for me. It's like just knowing that the blood, sweat, tears, capacity, like just everything that I could feel had been poured into it, you know?
Thank you. And it's actually very funny because everything that you were just saying about those threads, I've been asked this question so many times, like, what's your process? Oh God, guys, I don't fucking have one because, and it's so bad because I sit down at the start of every book and I'm like, okay, get my pen out. I'm going to plan this. Like I have a board behind me that I have literally not looked at with my whole book plan since I put it on there. I've never looked at it. I try to sit down and I write the outline, but then I hate the outline.
Yeah.
Right. Because I want to feel like I'm in the story and then I want to write the story as it's coming through me. It's like channeling.
Yeah.
It's trusting intuition. It's just that. So the only way I've been able to write this book is if I bring in a thread where I'm like, okay, I've just pulled in a random character. Great. I'm going to trust that they have a purpose. Whatever. I'm going to write the character, how they come through. I'm just going to trust that that person's going to come back.
Yeah.
And I've done that in book 1 where I'm like, I don't know why I created that character, but they're there now and I'm going to have to figure out a solution for that person. And it's like, but I have to trust past me.
Yeah.
I have to trust that past me was so tapped in that I was writing the story that came through me, that was what happened on that day for a reason. And I have to trust that present me can untangle that for myself. So there is a character, there are 2 characters actually that come up in chapter 1, in book 1, that come through in like chapter 30 of book 2.
Oh, wow.
And as soon as it came through, I was like, Like, I love past me for doing that.
Yeah.
So, and it's just that. I mean, even the process of writing is based on that. Can I trust myself today? Theory. That has just proven me right again and again and again, that I can trust the intel that's coming through.
Yeah.
And that I can be an artist rather than an architect, and that I can be a creative master rather than a strategist.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I have those threads, I'm like, I can make something cool happen with that in book 3. That's a later problem. It's just not a today problem. I'm just going to park that for future me, because I trust her too, because she's only going to get better, right? So she's actually more skilled than the version of me sitting here today. Yeah. So she'll deal with that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's just that part of me, it's just constantly pulling myself back to this present moment. And I don't say this like I'm a wizard at it. I say this because I genuinely need this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of that propensity to like spiral.
Yep. Yeah.
And to practice. Yeah, it's a practice to constantly narrow my focus in on exactly what am I doing, exactly what's going to drive this story forward. And every day it's, how have I moved the plot today? How have I moved the emotional landscape of the characters? How have I shifted their dynamics? Have I moved something forward? And it's just these like micro moments. And then all of a sudden I get to this point where I'm like, holy fuck, I'm in the last 5%. Yeah. Because I've just kept going with that day by day by day.
Yeah. 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 I love that. And there is something really, I think for me, it's really hard to put words on when you speak about channeling and the way that intel comes through that channel, because a lot of the times for me, that doesn't always make a lot of sense. But, you know, I'll strike up I'll be in session with a client, or I'll be, you know, on retreat, and I'll have something will just come out of me, and I don't know why it's coming out. I don't know why I'm speaking about this. I don't know why this particular, you know, dialect wants to be spoken into, and I'll speak into it. And then suddenly all the eyes in the room light up, or the hands go up, and they're like, it's like you were speaking directly to me. And like, I don't know why at the time, I don't know why that's come through. But if I spend more time trying to understand why it's there instead of just listening to it, then I might never say it. I might never, you know, actually act upon it or respond to it. I might just sit there in this, well, like, is that right? Is that wrong? Or what if I just trust it instead? And every time I do, like that pays off in such dividends, such big ways.
Such big ways. I completely agree. And I do think my past business has really helped with that. Because I would get an idea, whether it was the name for a new program or it was some sort of vibe that I wanted to build into a world or whatever it was. And I just really trusted those things. And I built up a good trust muscle over those 10 years that when it came to writing books, I never felt like I was starting from nothing. It never felt like, oh, this is my debut. Like, even when people say that, I'm like, yeah, but like, it's my debut book really, but this is not my first time doing this.
Yeah.
And I think that trust going into it really helped, but also just seeing the way that it's paid off with a 3-book arc and knowing, I'm like, oh, that's what's happening in book 3. Like, oh, I'm so glad I said that in chapter 3 of book 1. Like, yes to me. But never questioning the intel. I was at the gym last week and I had this moment where the words that came through was, her body moves like poetry. And I was like, great, clearly I'm going to use that somewhere. Wrote that down in my app. The next thing was every kiss is a prayer. That was the next one. I was like, great, I'm going to write that down. So I wrote those down. On Monday, no, what day is it today? Tuesday. On Sunday, I sat down and I started writing a scene, and I didn't even think of the notes that I had in my phone. Yeah. I didn't think, oh, I should go back and get them. I started writing, and they were the exact words that I wrote. Her body moves like poetry. Every kiss is a prayer. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. Why do we work so hard to try and remember these things when it's just
it's
so
going to come through? And it's like trust the words that are coming through, trust that a lot of the book, and you'll know this from reading, but a lot of it is analogy, right? Like she breathes like this, he moves like the night incarnate, like darkness itself. Like it's this constant metaphor, and everything I think of, I'm not even thinking. I'm at the gym, I'm doing a shoulder press.
Yeah.
I'm getting metaphor come through. And I'm writing it down, and it's just like trusting all of the time in those moments. Don't worry about where it fits in the book. Don't worry about who says it. Don't worry about what the purpose is. Just remember that it's a thing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be used. It's just that has just paid off again and again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. It's just, I often say, like, my channel is most open when I'm just living my life.
Oh,
When I'm just living, like I'm not trying to do it a certain, like there's no force, there's no trying, there's no efforting, there's no like hidden agenda about anything. It's just, I'm just living my life, and I'm just so in my life, and it's just the stream of intel that just drops in, and I'm the same. Like my notes app is ridiculous.
It makes no sense in there.
No.
It's like milk, bread, cheese. Her body moves like poetry. Get dog food. Husband socks. Every kiss is a prayer.
Yes. Literally like part shopping list, part like random conversation about like the layered self and all these different, and I'm just like, wow, like my mind is just so wild.
Yeah, there's a lot happening in there.
Chaos in there. Yeah.
Chaos.
But I do love that. Like, and for me, I just like it's just taught me so much about how easeful it can actually be. Like, actually, the more I'm trying and trying, I'm actually getting myself worked up, and I'm overwhelmed, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it just makes everything else feel really, really hard. Whereas if I'm just living my life, and I'm present in my life, and I'm just truly taking a moment to breathe in the air and truly smell the flowers, and I'm just alive in my body, alive in my life, and my channel is, just wide open.
It's
and
just
these
wide
things
open.
just slip in.
Yeah.
And interestingly, just based off what you've shared, and I've experienced this too, it's like, how we catch them, we're like, oh, better write that down. But then it's like, it's so alive in us. So it's almost like as it comes through, it imprints. And because you start writing out that scene, and it's just there. It's like your body knows, your channel knows, like you're made for this. Like this is like another affirmation that this is exactly where you're supposed to be. And how good does it feel when like you haven't had to work that hard to get that intel, and then it just comes through, and it's like, oh yeah, like
I did that. Yeah. And I think it is that balance, right, of what you just said, which is really trusting the intel and being in your life and just being super present with what you're doing, and truly smelling the flowers and allowing the thoughts, the channel, the stream to be open and alive. And it's, do I trust myself to show up for this every day? And it's that balance of bringing those two things together, of being the devoted human in reality, and being the subconscious channel as art. It's bringing those two things together that I believe is like this stunning intersection of like spirit and human.
Yeah. Oh.
Which is what I believe art is, right? And you can have art in anything. You can have art in something that's strategic. You can have art everywhere. But that's my feeling of art, is that there is something truly divine about it. I feel so different when I sit down to write and I leave that room and I've like float out of the room. I feel like I've had a spiritual fucking experience, and I've like written a scene, but it feels so, I don't even know, like transcendental when I'm doing it. And I think, God, I want everyone to feel that in their own way, whatever their thing is. Yeah, I want people to feel that. And I don't care what it is. Again, I've seen business people who are like fully in their element when they're doing it, and they get that feeling from doing that. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you're like, as long as you're in that field and for yourself, and you're
Mm.
feeling that, and you're paying attention to that, and you're noticing that feeling, like you described it as floating, you feel like you're floating. Like I feel like that every time I get to have conversations like this. I feel like that every time I get to, you know, have a really beautiful breathwork journey with a client. Like I feel like I am like exactly where I'm meant to be. It feels so alive and so beautiful. And I experience that feeling of floatiness too. I just feel like, oh, yeah,
It's that feeling.
yeah, it's so beautiful. And like, what if that is actually, you know, the point of it all? You know, like what if it's that, you know,
Yeah.
that feeling? And
Yeah, because this is actually one of the things in the lead up to making this decision. One of the big like mental barriers I had was that I always felt like I was made for more noble work. I always thought I'd do something that was more world changing, you know, that would really like change people's lives. And here I am writing romantic fantasy books. And I had a really hard time with that initially because I thought, oh, it's hard to, you know, you go down to the local coffee place and you grab a coffee and people go, oh, so what do you do again? And you say, oh, I write fantasy books. Oh, like those smutty ones. Or like, oh, it's not a lot of money in books, is there? You know, it's everyone's projections that come out, and instantly it's just, yeah, am I not enough? Am I not doing enough? Is this not important enough? Is this not significant enough? And then I think art is the place we turn to when, you know, we read poetry at funerals and we read, you know, we have music played at our weddings, and we anchor into the birth of our children with playlists. And every significant moment in our life, we curate a queued up playlist of things that make us feel. And when we're going through a hard time, we turn to characters that mirror our own experiences, and we immerse in places that make us feel something, either that is more of what we already have in life that makes us feel extra great, or something that we're missing that we might seek out in a book and we want to feel. And then I just remind myself that art is so essential for life. And we saw this, I think, during COVID. Everyone turned to art because we were hurting. Everyone was isolated. Everyone was separated. Where did we go? Well, we turned to art. That's where we went. Everyone wanted more art, more reading, more books, more music, more playlists, more things that made them feel. And I just think, is there anything more noble that I could be doing than making people feel? Because ultimately that's actually so exactly what I want to do. So that was a really big hurdle for me initially, to really see what I was doing as enough. Even though it felt so right. I was like, is it good enough though? Is it enough? I'm not out there changing the world. I'm not out there with, you know, my flags out marching. I'm not doing any sort of overt activism.
Yeah, I'm really glad you spoke into that, because I think that's really important, you know, because I think when it comes to, you know, doing work in the world that's important and matters, that's so, yeah, like it differs for everyone, you know, like your book brought so much joy into my life. It helped me tap into places that I'd forgotten were in existence and alive within me, and that changed my world. You know, so it's so interesting. Like I just love that you brought that through, because I just imagine that's probably one of the number one stories that someone might tell themselves as to why, you know, it's like, this isn't big enough, it's not. And we're so obsessed as a collective with things being so big, you know, like the bigger the better, and has to be, like you said, like for a noble cause. And I just think sometimes it's, you know, we miss like just how life-changing it is, even just to hear a simple truth. Like when, you know, when you meet someone that just matches your depth, or matches just like how vulnerable you're willing to go, and how like you can maintain eye contact and just really be with someone. And like we underestimate the power of those moments that just like, true, that's life changing. That's to me is life changing. To me, it's that feels I feel that shift in me immediately. I feel something churning in me, rumbling in me, coming alive in me. That to me is noble. To me, that's massive, you know?
Yeah.
But it's such seemingly so insignificant.
Yeah. And it's really being okay with that. It's really being okay with, actually, I am okay with making people feel, and that being what I give to the world. Like, that is really okay. And also, I am pushing agendas in my books. So I'm creating my own little silent rebellion in there.
Yeah.
But also, you know, the FMC, the female main character, she lives with a lot of pain. And so we see, I mean, tell me one person you know that doesn't live with pain.
Yeah.
And so the entire journey that she goes on is about, what do you do with that pain? What do you turn that into? Do you turn that into something that you become submissive to, or do you turn that into something that you can wield into power? And there's, you know, all these beautiful poetic lines in there about sacrifice being a prettier word for obedience, and you know, all of these types of things that are woven in there that just, I think, are little subconscious codes for people to pick up and go, yeah, good point. Or maybe I didn't notice that, but that hit me somewhere in the subconscious. And I shared a little snippet from a spicy scene the other day. And this is also something I'm a really big advocate for.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay.
Let's go there.
Well, I mean, there are a million of these books where the spicy scenes are stupid, in my personal opinion, where they do not parallel real life, real relationships, real dynamics, real intimacy, eroticism, connection. And so I'm not about that. However, what I do advocate for is a powerful sex scene where the sex is moving something between the characters. If you took the sex scene away, would the plot just continue as normal? Or does it fundamentally change the plot through the sex scene? Because show me one thing that is more vulnerable, more heart-opening, more intimate than sex. So you can move the plot a lot, and you can move a character dynamic a lot through a scene. And I was sharing this snippet with the community, the gals. I was sharing this tiny little snippet from this sex scene, and so many of them sent me private messages straight after that said, I see myself in that.
Yeah.
Like, I see the way I want to hide. I see the way I cannot reveal myself. I cannot be myself in intimacy, where it is the place where I feel myself run. These are the ways that you can move people with something as seemingly insignificant as a spicy scene in a fantasy book, because it's a fantasy setting, but these are real life emotions.
Yeah.
And there is so much psychological and emotional realism in them. And the sex scenes are positioned like, yeah, we want them to be hot. Great. Because ultimately a book is entertainment. I want it to be entertaining, and I want to be coding it with something real. Yeah. And that is, I want women to see it and go, my shame around my desire or my dirtiness or my feralness or my softness doesn't need to exist. Yeah. I actually don't need to hold shame around that. And I think that's a rebellion to me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But also I can see myself in this woman who struggles to be seen in that way, or in the woman who overtly claims what she wants and she's not fucking scared. Like, whatever it is that you see in that character, there's something in it for women where we get to say, I am not ashamed of my sexual self. I am not ashamed of my body and my wants and my desires. I am not ashamed of my turn on, my arousal, my dirtiness. I'm not ashamed of that. This is actually a normal part of the context of human relationships. And I think it's just that normalizing it and breaking down the walls and writing the uncomfortable and the erotic and the pain and putting it all together. To me, I don't know that you can find that in other platforms or other mediums. I think you can receive it in a book in a way that you can't through a song.
Yeah.
Or that you can't through talk therapy,
Mm-hmm.
or that you can't through visual representation on screen. There's just something deeper there because you can talk to inner monologue and small observations and intricate details. So yeah, I mean, there's so much there where I think, oh, this is not some silly little thing that I want to do. It's, to me, it feels noble.
Yeah.
To me, it feels big, even if it's not to the world.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but like those spicy scenes are so like they elevate so much of the story. Like they really bring it up and create for the later parts in the book, like it just makes it that more, I guess, intense, dramatic, however you want to describe it. Like it elevates it to make the rest just crush you and ruin you.
Yeah, because there's things that happen in them where you're like, what is the significance of that? Why does that matter? Oh, that's why it matters. Yeah. There are parts of that. I don't know. This is something that I crave from other writers. Make the sex mean something.
Yeah. That's
Make it mean something to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to like, thank you. Yeah. And obviously, you know how the book ends. So you know that there's like a big story with regards to like letting people in again in book 2. That was really enjoyable to write as well.
Yeah, it was enjoyable to read, like it, and just coming back to, you know, that nobility around, you know, it's almost like that liberation of desire and that eroticism and like bringing that alive for women through your words. That's an experience that as a reader I went on within myself, you know, like little things came alive in me, little, you know, little activations, little things, you know, just pricked up. And that's what I was saying about earlier, is how, you know, like I actually really love fantasy books, but I don't often read them because I just get like so enthralled in them. Right?
They take over.
They literally take over. Like I said, I read this book in like, I think it was 3 or 4 days, and I was just ruined by the end of it. But those spicy scenes, they illuminate, like they illuminated something in me. Like they really did activate something in me. There was a remembering for me, Britt, like a deep remembering, and even a like a remembering of, and more it was like, oh, there's this part of me that yearns, you know, for that deeper connection and intimacy, like, and it was just kind of shocking, you know, and unexpected. You know, I'm reading this book, and then suddenly I'm having, like, like, I know the feeling part is, you know, the deeper purpose of the writing. It's like I'm feeling something now, and I'm actually having an experience with myself, you know, as I'm reading the words. And that to me is, I don't know, I just really appreciate it. I really appreciate those little opportunities to maybe dance with my shadow, you know, that's sort of like coming through this. And yeah, like I feel what you're saying around, you know, sort of that deeper kind of like purpose that you're like rebelling into the words. And like, I could feel that. I was like, this is purposeful. This is very intentional.
You can seed your own agendas in there, and you can be coding people with little subconscious takeaways around whatever it is. You know, the people move, the government move, that, or whether it's my hurt doesn't have to be the thing that takes me out for my life, or it can be sex as a reclamation, and all of that. Like there's so many little themes in there. Fate versus free will. What happens when we decide that fate isn't predetermined, that we have a lot of choice, or that there are parts that are fated, but what will you do with that? You know, there are so many little themes and symbols in there that people probably won't even notice, let's be honest. Like the book girlies are just reading for a good time. So people probably won't notice, but I notice, and it is felt by people, and I have had that feedback a lot. So
I feel it too. So I'm wondering, is there anything that you want to share or anything I haven't asked that you would like to speak into and just offer into this space?
Oh my goodness. What do I want to offer? Oh, that you're just way too special to not be pursuing more. And I don't mean bigger, I mean more. And that's for everyone. Like, if I've learned anything through this experience, it's fuck the well-worn path. It's just that. I know we just get taught so much that what we need to do is, we need to be putting money away and we need to be buying the house. We need to be doing the things in the order. And, well, what are you going to do? What's your real job? And I know we get fed that every day, everywhere we look. And I just think it is poison. I think it is such poison because it stops people pursuing things that really do feel noble to them, that are so fulfilling. I think we have an unfulfillment and dissatisfaction epidemic of people doing things that make sense, that tick boxes, that provide, that is so fucking unsatisfying. And it makes me sad. Like, the one thing I hope that people take away from this is that it is worth the gamble, regardless of the outcome, and that you should pursue more. Don't be the person on the deathbed who is regretting. Yeah, that's probably it. Oh, and the book's called The Sky Called Her Home. I don't think I've mentioned that. I probably should tell you what the book is.
And it's an amazing book that everyone needs to read.
In 3 days.
In 3 days or less. If you're going to do it properly.
Exactly.
And, however you feel about it, if you're in complete, ruin like I was afterwards, make sure you drop into Brit's inbox and let her know.
Yes, I am here for the emotional damage, actually.
It's sort of like your duty, right, as the author. Like,
yes.
When I messaged you before, I was like, okay, I finished the book and I really need to talk to you about this.
Yes,
I am
have
ruined.
to have a conversation.
Yeah, we need to speak things out. But yeah, it's a beautiful book, and I will be linking everything up in the show notes to make it really easy for everyone to find you and connect with this amazing book and your journey and everything else. And yeah, thank you for the work that you're doing in the world, and thank you for pursuing your dream. Thank you for showing us what it looks like to feel, to come to a place where the truth beckons, and instead of pretending it's not there, listening and responding and doing whatever is required of you to pursue that path fully, wholly, and deliberately. Thank you for just showing us what that looks like. And like you said, regardless of the outcome, I believe your outcome has been so beautiful, but regardless of the outcome, just like following that, pursuing that so wholeheartedly. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the beautiful questions and just the space to talk about it. It's been amazing. You're the best.
Yeah, thank you. So are you.
Stop.